Welcome to the Deep Dive, Crypto Science Edition, bringing you more alpha. And today we're diving deep into the world of Donald Trump's new meme coin, Trepe.
And it's just crazy how fast, this whole thing is blown up. It literally just launched yesterday, January 17th, 2025.
Yeah.
And it's already making waves, like, all over the crypto world.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching a rocket launch in real time.
Uh,
So before we get too into it, though, let's just quickly define a meme coin for anyone who maybe hasn't heard the term before.
Right.
So essentially, it's like a digital token that's based on like a personality or a movement or, an internet trend. Like, think of Dogecoin with the Shiba Inu dog.
Exactly. And while they gain massive popularity a lot of times, they're considered highly speculative and might not have any intrinsic value, which is something a lot of people are saying about this Trump He coin.
Yeah. So Trump announced the launch of his meme coin, TreeMMP, on Truth Social and X.
Yep.
And he framed it as like a celebration of, his persona and achievements. And what followed was a pretty crazy market response.
Yeah. I mean, the Times of India reported a market cap of almost $6 billion.
Wow.
Within hours of it launching, and that number just exploded. I mean, just a day later, the Economic Times is saying it's at $14.5 billion. So, like, that's a huge amount of money flowing into this thing in such a short period of time. And just for some context for, your listeners, market capitalization, it's essentially just it's the total value of all the coins in circulation. So it's a measure of the coin's overall worth.
And then what about the price? Well, the coin started trading at like 18 cents, and then it jumped up to $7.10, and then it's kind of stabilized around $21.51. So we're looking at an increase of like over 231%.
Wow.
And the Economic Times, they actually mentioned a trader who turned a $1.1 million investment into over $20 million in just 90 seconds.
Oh, man. Imagine that, right? Like, is that even, I mean, that's just insane to me. But does that kind of profit, is that sustainable, or is it like a sign that something's,
It definitely makes you wonder. So this brings us to the concerns about, meme coins and specifically Trumpopay. Because while the coin is definitely like connected to Trump, with its website even saying that, quote, this Trump meme celebrates a leader who doesn't back down no matter the odds, end quote. There are some questions about the coin's structure and its ownership.
Yeah. I mean, the Economic Times reported that 80% of the Trumpa coins are held by two companies, CIC Digital LLC and Fight LLC, and they're both linked to Trump. So, I mean, what does that mean, right? That kind of concentrated ownership. That raises some questions about control, and are they going to manipulate the market?
So it's like we've got this awesome market performance on one hand with people making like a ton of money. But then on the other hand, we've got this cloud of skepticism, So, I mean, I'm curious to get your take on this. Is this concentrated ownership a big red flag?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something to, to think about, to really kind of understand what's going on here. We need to look at Trump's history with cryptocurrency, which has been a little, it's kind of all over the place.
He hasn't always been a fan, that's for sure. He's been pretty critical of it in the past.
Yeah, but then during his 2024 presidential campaign, he kind of switched gears. He was like pro-crypto all of a sudden and was saying he would reduce regulations, if he got elected. And now look where we are. It's the beginning of his second term. And boom, Trump to me.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, what do you think about Trump changing his tune like that on crypto? Do you think that it was a genuine, like, change of heart? Or do you think it was more strategic?
It's hard to say. But there's also this other thing, the launch of World Liberty Financial back in October. For your listeners, this is a crypto platform created by businessmen linked to Trump. So, there was already this connection there, even before Trump He launched.
It's like, first the rhetoric shifts, and then this platform pops up, and now there's this meme coin. Like, what's next?
Who knows? It definitely makes you wonder. I think, the launch of Trump, it's not just about Trump. It really raises these questions about the role of these meme coins in the market and whether they're, here to stay or not.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of concerns about meme coins in general and, how speculative they are and that they don't really have, any inherent value. Some people say that they're just a fad, that are driven by hype and social media.
And I get that. But then you see this Trim and P thing and you see how much excitement they generate. And how much capital they're attracting. I mean, the Economic Times reported that the trading volume, which is, the total value of coins traded, was like almost $1 billion. in just 1 hour after it launched. So, I mean, that's a huge number, and it really shows the potential of meme coins, even if it is, a little bit risky.
I mean, that does make you wonder, right? Does the lack of inherent value even matter if the coin is making these crazy returns? Is it really just about speculation and, future growth?
Yeah, I think that's the million-dollar question that anybody who's thinking about investing in this needs to ask themselves. It all comes back to that original question, right? Is Trump a genius move, a risky gamble, or is there something else going on?
Yeah, and I think just as importantly, how does this reflect like the larger trends
Yeah.
and the risks in the whole crypto market, right? Because it's a complicated landscape, and we're going to keep exploring these questions, in our next segment.
I mean, it really feels like we're watching this like new era unfold, not just in finance, but also like in politics.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Trumpy,
Yeah.
right at the center of it all,
Oh,
and it
really?
just raises all these questions about, where things are headed. It's like this perfect example of crypto and celebrity and political influence all coming together.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And we can't forget about, Trump's history with these kind of unconventional business ventures. I mean, some have worked out and some haven't. So, I mean, with this Trumpy coin, it's really hard to say, is it going to be like Bitcoin and Ethereum, or is it going to just like fade away?
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's so tied to, a political figure, it just adds another layer of like complexity to it all. What do you think? How's this going to play out, especially with Trump starting his second term?
Well, I mean, the official website says that the coin's not politically affiliated, but, I think actions speak louder than words, right? Like the timing of the release, the way they're talking about it, and then, going back to that concentrated ownership structure, just all points to, maybe there's something more going on here.
It's definitely calculated, that's
I'll
for
think
sure.
right.
And the statement on their website, quote, "This Trump meme celebrates a leader who doesn't back down no matter the odds," end quote. It's not exactly subtle, right?
Nope, not at all. And it seems like the coin, at least partly, is meant to like resonate with, Trump's base of supporters. So will that translate to long-term success? I don't know, but it makes you wonder, what if every, politician or movement had their own like meme coin?
Oh, wow. Yeah. What would that even look like? I mean,
Huh?
would it be like empowering,
Yeah.
or would it just lead to more division?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And I think we're already seeing how, finance and tech and politics, they're all kind of blending together. And Trump, I mean, this could just be the start. But, speaking of like implications and stuff, I think it's also important to talk about the risks
Yeah,
here.
for sure. We've talked about like how meme coins are speculative and how the ownership of Trump is concentrated. But there's another risk that we haven't really talked about, and that's market manipulation.
Right. With so much control in the hands of like, a few people, there's always the chance that they could manipulate the market for their own, personal gain. And this is a concern with any cryptocurrency, but it's especially worrisome with Trump just because of, the way it's set up.
And we can't forget about the potential for scams and fraud, especially with something as like new and volatile as this. I mean, remember the Times of India article? They mentioned some concerns from people in the crypto community about whether the coin was even legitimate.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think it's a reminder that, you got to do your research
Yeah.
and be careful when you're, investing in any kind of cryptocurrency.
So for the average person, who may be just hearing about Trump for the first time, like, what would you say are the key takeaways here?
I mean, the main thing is Trump, it's like a lot of meme coins. It's high risk, high reward. There's potential to make, a lot of money, but there's also a lot of risk. So before you even think about investing, do your research, understand how the coin is structured, and, really think about how much risk you're comfortable with.
And remember, what happened to that trader who, made all those millions in a few seconds? That's not typical.
Yeah, past performance isn't really a guarantee of future results. And if you're looking for something that's like, safe and stable, Trump is probably not the right, investment for you. But if you're okay with, taking some risks and you believe in meme coins, then it might be something to consider. But, never invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I mean, the crypto market is so It's crazy volatile. Things can change really fast. So don't let the hype, or the fear of missing out cloud your judgment.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement, but you got to stay level-headed. There are opportunities out there, but also a lot of pitfalls. It's really up to each individual to navigate this whole thing carefully and make sure you're making choices that are in line with your financial goals.
So, while the future of Trump is still uncertain, it's definitely shaken things up a bit, right? I mean, it's sparked all these conversations and debates, and some people have even made some quick money.
Yeah, it's definitely a story worth following, that's for sure. I think what the Trumpy thing shows us is that, meme coins are getting more influential, and we're seeing more and more how crypto and politics are, starting to mix, and there's potential for both good and bad things to happen in this digital asset market, which is always evolving.
It makes you think, are we just in this moment of crypto madness? Or is this like a real shift in how we think about, value and community and even like leadership in this digital age?
Those are some big questions, and honestly, I don't know if anybody has the answers yet. But that's what makes this whole thing so interesting. It's constantly challenging our ideas, and it makes us rethink what's possible.
I mean, who knows, right? Maybe Trump will be like the thing that leads to all kinds of innovation and change, or maybe it'll be a warning about the dangers of hype and speculation.
We'll just have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure: we'll be here to analyze it all, every step of the way.
Absolutely. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture. What could this Trump thing mean for the future of the whole crypto market and even beyond that? So we've been talking about this whole Trumpy phenomenon from its crazy launch to whether it's legit and what the risks are. But I think it's time to step back a bit, and look at the bigger picture. Like, what does this meme coin really tell us?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's time to zoom out a little bit and look at, what Trump says about some of the bigger trends that are happening in, crypto. We've talked about meme coins and speculation and how finance and politics are kind of mixing together. But I think there's another layer to this whole thing that we haven't really touched on yet, and that's the power of community and belief.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of wild how meme coins, even though they don't always have intrinsic value, they get their value from shared excitement, and a feeling of belonging to a certain community.
Right. I mean, think about it. People are putting money into Trump Gigi, not just because they think they might make money, but because it represents something they believe in, right? It's a community they identify with.
It's like digital tribalism or something, right?
Yeah.
Fueled by social media and wanting to get rich quick. It's like we're watching this social experiment play out in real time.
Exactly. And it really makes you think, if the value of a meme coin comes from, belief and community, does that make it any less real than, like a traditional investment?
That's a tough question. I mean, we're used to thinking of value as being tied to real assets, right?
Yeah.
Or something fundamental. But these meme coins are they're changing that idea. They're saying that value can be well, at least perceived, through shared stories and beliefs.
It's kind of a mind-blowing concept, and it's not just limited to, meme coins. I mean, think about brands, right? Or social media influencers, or even political movements. They all depend on the power of shared belief and community.
So are we seeing a fundamental shift in how we define and create value in this digital age? Is belief becoming a kind of currency?
Yeah, it could be. And that's both exciting and a little scary. On the one hand, it could give people and communities more power to create value outside of traditional systems. But then on the other hand, it could lead to new ways of being manipulated or exploited. I mean, we've already seen that with some meme coins.
It's like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Reminding us to be careful about, who and what we trust and where we put our, our money and even our emotions.
For sure. As we're, trying to navigate this world of digital assets and online communities, I think it's more important than ever to think critically, right? And be media literate.
We got to be able to, tell the difference between hype and substance, and understand that there can be both, good and bad outcomes, and just make sure we're making decisions that align with our values.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into this Trump and P phenomenon, I think it's it's worth leaving our listeners with one final question to think about. If the value of a meme coin ultimately comes down to belief and community, I mean, does that make it any less real than traditional investments? And what does that tell us about the future of value, in this digital age where narratives and online communities are having more and more influence?
Those are some really interesting questions to think about. Thanks for joining us on this crypto science edition of the Deep Dive, bringing you more alpha. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world of cryptocurrency. It's always changing,
Yeah.